So we are on the Raw after WrestleMania where Braun Breaker has just beat CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship and he is now having a segment. Last night at WrestleMania, I didn't just win this championship, I took it. For all the people at the back who thought I was too dangerous and reckless, look at me now. And to anyone in the back who thinks they're standard and they think this title's still theirs, come and face me now. Don't hide, don't run, come out now. So Seth Rollins has returned from injury and he doesn't have any words from Braun Breaker, but he has actions. Braun Breaker will leap off of the rope and he'll go for a spear, but Seth Rollins will move out the way and he'll counter him for a stomp. But then the Vision will come into the ring, Logan Paul punching Seth Rollins. And then Bronson Reed getting up onto the ropes for a tsunami. And he would get the tsunami. But CM Punk would come out for the save. And Logan Paul would go after Punk. But Punk would swiftly get Logan Paul on his shoulders for a GTS. And he would connect. And now he'd run into the ring to get to Bronson Reed. And brawl with Bronson Reed, but then he'd get Bronson Reed on his shoulders for another GTS. But then, Seth Rollins and CM Punk would have a stare down. And Punk would say to Rollins, I didn't do this to help you. I did this to get one over on the Vision. But all this would set up a tag team match for Backlash between the Vision and Logan Paul and Bronson Reed, CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But the big question is, can CM Punk and Seth Rollins coexist? Well, CM Punk would start the match going against Logan Paul, who's starting the match for the Vision, and they would go back and forth for a bit. But then Logan Paul would get on top, and they would get ready for Bronson Reed to do a tsunami on CM Punk. He would get on the top rope, and he would land the tsunami, and he would go for the cover. 1, 2, no! CM Punk would kick out the tsunami, but Seth Rollins would try and get a tag. But Punk, being stubborn as he is and not liking Seth Rollins, would fight for it and he would stand up and not get the tag. But then Punk and Seth would start to argue. But then eventually Punk would give in for the sake of the match and he would finally tag in Seth Rollins. Now Seth would go for Logan Paul and he would connect his curved stomp and then he would go for the cover. 1, 2, no! Logan Paul would kick out at 2.99. But then Punk would start arguing with Seth, they'd start arguing again, but then Seth would tag in CM Punk, but then Paul Heyman dragged Seth down and distracted Seth Rollins, but then he hit Paul Heyman. But then back in the ring, Paul punches Punk, same as earlier, and then Bronson Reed gets up to the top rope and nails the tsunami, and he goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. But then after the match, they would attack Seth Rollins' division. Then Bronson Reed would nail a tsunami on Seth Rollins. Then Austin Theory would run into the ring. But then he looks over at Logan Paul and Bronson Reed. It seems like they're hesitating for a second. But then Seth Rollins would get up. And then finally Theory would hit an air turn down on Seth Rollins. But then, a couple of Raws later, nearer to SummerSlam, Seth Rollins would be having a segment. Braun Breaker, I let you into my vision, and then you and Bronson Reed kicked me out. So, I'm coming back for my World Heavyweight Championship that I never lost, and I will defeat you for that championship. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And Seth Rollins, I don't mean to come out to disrespect you, but I'm just going to tell you the facts right here and right now. Braun Breaker would never, ever shut your mouth, Paul. I have more than well earned a world title opportunity, and it's because of Braun Breaker that I lost the belt. And you know what? Even if I can't get a title match on him straight away, I will do anything to get that championship back around my waist. Well, Seth, Mr. Rollins, there is nothing for you to get a world championship opportunity. You will never get a championship opportunity with Braun Breaker. Well, Paul, we'll have to put that to the test. General Manager Adam Pearce has something to say and he comes out. For the last couple of months, the Vision has destroyed all of our talent, going around destroying our talent. And then the first person they destroyed and kicked out of the Vision was Seth Rollins. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. If Seth Rollins wins, he gets his World Heavyweight Championship opportunity at SummerSlam. But if Seth loses, he has to leave Monday Night Raw. The match will take place next week, 3 weeks before SummerSlam. And that's official. No. Absolutely not, Adam Pearce. No. You're not putting Braun Breaker in that position like that. Well, Bronson, think you lose? Well, I prefer Bronson because the match is official. Well, we're back in the ring and Seth Rollins stomped to Paul Heyman. Well, the match has begun and then it's Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins squaring off to see if Seth Rollins can get a world title match or not. But if Bronson Reed does win, Seth has to leave Raw. But Seth Rollins would hit a curb stomp in the match and he would go for the pin. 1, 2, no. But Bronson Reed would kick out. And then Bronson Reed would hit Seth Rollins, get him on the floor, and he'd go up to the top rope. And he would nail a tsunami. 1, 2, no. Rollins would kick out. But then Austin Theory would end up getting involved. To distract the referee. But he happened to distract the referee while Bronson Reed was pinning Seth Rollins. And Bronson Reed just missed his opportunity to beat Seth Rollins because Theory was distracting the referee. But then Rollins would start getting up. But while the ref was distracted, Seth Rollins has got the upper hand. And he nails a curve stomp onto Bronson Reed. And he goes for the pin. And Seth wins. He gets his World Championship match at SummerSlam. And Braun Breaker slides into the ring. And he squares off with Seth and he raises the title to Rollins. And then Rollins walks away. But then Braun drops the title and he sees Austin Theory just cost Bronson Reed the match. And Theory gets in the ring. and Braun Breaker is fuming at Austin Theory. And Austin Theory walks away from the situation after Braun Breaker shoved Austin Theory twice. But over the next couple of weeks, you get the contract signing between Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And then following into the next week, you have Braun Breaker talk about what happened with Austin Theory. And he cuts the segment and he says, SummerSlam is right around the corner, and Seth Rollins thinks he can outsmart me and outfight me. And he thinks he can divide the division. And maybe he's already got someone swayed. Braun, let's just talk things out. What happened 2 weeks ago, Braun? It was all an accident. I would never try and cost the vision. All I've ever done is try and help the vision succeed. Help the vision. No, what you did 2 weeks ago was get him a title shot. Now I have to defend this at SummerSlam in an Extreme Rules match. Can I even trust you, Theory? Yes, Braun, you can trust me. I don't want you fighting Rollins alone. I've got your back, no matter what. Well, Theory, I'm getting really sick and tired of it now. This is your last chance now at SummerSlam to prove your loyalty to the vision. If you fail, you're out the group. Seth Rollins wins the title back that he never lost from the help of Austin Theory.